Hey, how we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Master and Drum Whiskey Room. Welcome tonight on another Whiskey Wednesday night. Really glad to see you guys here tonight. Have a really fun, packed show all set for you guys tonight, including some whiskey news, including some really great bottles. Going to be cracking open some samples that I've gotten. We're going to go through those too. Yeah, pretty much a packed show tonight. So thanks for coming in and thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Really, always appreciate it. Before we get started, as always, guys, I got to say hi to you guys in the chat. Let's see who popped in. Rebecca Page, she was first. Donner Pass Whiskey's in the house. Chad Holly, the Oak and Smoke Whiskey Reviews. How you doing, fellas? I know I plugged them, but if you guys haven't checked out the Oak and Smoke Whiskey Reviews, please do so. Great guys, great reviews. Steven Sussman, Scotty from My Bourbon Journey. You guys should know he has a channel. Definitely go check out Scotty. Who else we got here? Chad Holly. We have Jeff Perkins in the house. Karen B4. Nice to see you guys. Richie Z, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome, buddy. Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. You guys know our buddy Dusty Dan. Go check out his new channel if you haven't yet. Who else is here? Curry Bowling's in the house. Sean Moore, Swan. You guys probably recognize him from It's Bourbon Night. Definitely a really cool guy. Love Sean. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Whiskey Crusaders, Matt's in the house. Also another great channel. The Bourbon Buddies, Neil the Deal. Another amazing channel. Go check them out. Bourbon Apprentice is here. Mark Stone, John Watson, Robert Kimetz, Moose76 is in the house. Mark JG. Let's see. Mark Saliba's in the house. Stephen Jones. More people jumping in. Tech 187. Dark Meat Chicken's in the house. James is here. Trevor Wilson. The usual suspects. Love you guys. Thanks for coming in. And we got more people popping in. We got 47 watching now and more on the way. So, New Menium's here too. Cool. So tonight, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to crack this bottle open. So I picked this up yesterday when I was in Kentucky. You can't get this here in Ohio yet. And this is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series. This is definitely a lot more money than the Fusion Series, but it's got some pretty old stuff in here. So I'm really curious to get into this. I tasted this when I was in Kentucky when me, Dan, and Scott were there. And I remembered it being pretty damn good, but I don't remember it that often because we drank so much stuff that day, so it'd be good to kind of revisit that. Before I went live, I actually put together a quick video for you guys to watch about my experience at Buffalo Trace yesterday for my barrel pick. Got to do a Weller foolproof barrel pick yesterday at Buffalo Trace. Did a really cool tour, had lunch. It was an amazing experience. Got to see some really interesting changes, and we're going to get into that too. So like I said, we got a really packed show. But first, I'm going to start off the night, like I always do, in thanking my patrons. I want to thank everyone. A lot of you guys are on this list. I really want to thank you for supporting the channel. And I'm planning on doing a lot more stuff on Patreon probably the next few weeks once I get back from my work trip next week. I want to do more videos, more content on there for you guys. So I'm definitely looking to do that. If you're thinking about becoming a patron, you could join for as little as $1 a month. Just supports the channel, helps support more content, better equipment, and better whiskey. So I want to say thanks again. Also wanted to mention, I'm running low, guys. My coins have sold pretty fast. I ordered 150 and I have about probably 70 something left. So if you guys haven't had a coin or a whiskey hat, this is the snare drum for the 5-piece set. If you guys are interested in getting one, leave a comment down in the comment section of this video. Let me know if you want a coin, and I'll get in touch with you. I'll get you one as soon as I can. So now we have 56 in the house. Joseph Brazo is here. Guy Davis, John Watson, how you doing? John Watson, is that the one with the turkey juice? Yes, it is. Yep. Joseph Swan is asking Joseph who let him in the chat. Tony Nelson's here. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Cap and make it happen. Most Chun. Everyone jumping in. This is awesome. Okay. So I'm starting off tonight. I'm doing this in honor of my buddy Dusty Dan, who, if you guys didn't see his last review, he reviewed Barrel Dovetail, and I forgot how flippin' awesome this stuff is. So for the first pour of the night, I have it here. I'm gonna have a little Barrel Dovetail. Let me know what you guys are sipping on with me tonight. Cheers, and let's have a sip of the Dovetail. Oh my goodness. That stuff is just ridiculous. It's so good. I've never like gone through such a array of different types of fruit flavors in a glass with that Barrel Dovetail. For those of you that don't know, it's finished in rum, port and Dunn Vineyards Cabernet barrels. It's got so much fruit flavor to it. It's really, really good. Dan, on his latest interview, I reviewed this a while back, but Dan really kind of gets into some of the other notes too that he found. So definitely go check it out. Nagel Appraisal Dayton is here. I just poured some Barrel Dovetail, but we're going to be sipping a bunch of stuff tonight. All right, so before we get to the discovery, as always, guys, it is time to get out your wallets. Get out your notepads because it's time to get into some whiskey news to see what is coming out very soon for you guys to keep an eye on. So it is whiskey news time. So the first announcement that I picked up on was this one right here, Johnnie Walker. For those of you Johnnie Walker fans, Johnnie Walker Black Label Origin Series has been announced just this week. It's a collection of 4 Scotch whiskeys intended to celebrate the distinct flavor profiles of the regions of Scotland. Each of the 4 whiskeys are 12 years old and made of whiskeys from the respective region. One is Johnnie Walker Black Label Speyside, 42% ABV from Cardew and Glendullan. Johnnie Walker Black Label Highland is 42% as well. This is from Clynelish and Teenanick. Johnnie Walker Black Label Isla Origin. That one is from Kalila and Lagavulin, also bottled at 42% ABV. And Johnnie Walker Black Label Lowlands. That is also 42%, and that's coming in with Glencairn and Cameron Bridge. So those are the blends for Johnnie Walker if you guys are into Johnny. A lot of people are. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are... I'd be interested in all 4 of the JWs. I like what they did right there at the Bourbon Buddies. It's kind of cool. I mean, you get to kind of see the different origins and the different blends that they use. I kind of like that they kept it to 2 per bottle, so you can kind of, I don't know, if, really taste. It's at least it's 42%, not 40%. It's not just 80 proof. So I could see that being kind of a cool series, and it's 12 years old, so it's got some decent age to it. Let's get to the next one. This is a cool bourbon coming out, guys. So I'm kind of excited for this one. This is from MGP. They are set to release their brand's first bottled and bond bourbon. The bottled and bond bourbon, you guys are obviously you're familiar with Indiana's Midwest Grain Products, MGP, and the multitude of spirits that they make. But over the last few years, MGP has begun, releasing their own whiskey brands. This is Metz's Select Bourbon, Remus Repeal Reserve, Rossville Union, the Rise, and their blended whiskey, the 8 and Sand blended bourbon. Now they have plans to release its first ever bottled and bond product called Remus Volstead Reserve. This is a 14-year-old bottled and bond bourbon. This was distilled in the fall of 2005, matured for 14 years in the MGP brick warehouses. It's named for the 100th anniversary of the Volstead Act, which was enacted in 1919 as a way to enforce the 18th Amendment, better understood as prohibition. Only 6,000 bottles of this will be available beginning November 2019, so mark your calendars. This is a one-time limited edition release price of $200 per bottle. Will be available in 14 states, including Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, and Texas. So, love them or hate them, MGP makes great juice. So I'd actually be really interested in trying this or trying to get a bottle. But again, $200. I mean, it's a 14-year-old bottled and bond. That's about what the market is it's kind of suggesting, and it's what the market's demanding right now for something that aged. So $200 is kind of on par, I think, for a 14-year. Not bad. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Damn you, Johnnie Walker. Remus Hey, ADHC Fishing's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Doug Tempest. DH Silv says 200 bucks, DH Silv. Yeah, it's not terrible for 14 year. Doug Tempest says pass. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see how good it is. I don't know if I'll be able to get a hand on it, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I get a sample if I'm lucky. All right, third one, Kilchoman. You Kilchoman heads out there. This week they announced their 2019 editions of the Lochgorm, the Kilchoman Impex Cask Evolution Single Cask 11 Year, and the Kilchoman STR Cask Matured. Each release celebrates a different aspect of the Kilchoman brand heritage. So the Lochgorm, the 2019 release, it's made from single malts distilled in 2006, 07, 08, 09, and 11. That means for the first time, a Lochgorm release will contain 12 and 13-year-old casks. They also matured it fully in ex-Oloroso sherry butts. Only 15,000 bottles came from the 20 sherry butts. It's bottled at 46% ABV and has a suggested retail price of $109.99. The Kilchoman Impex Cask Evolution Single Cask 11 Year. It's an 11-year single cask malt, exclusively available in the U.S. This is matured in first ex-bourbon cask for 11 years, and it's the oldest Kilchoman exclusively available in the United States for general distribution. This one comes in at a mighty 56.4% ABV with a price of $174.99. So that's the second one, and then the third one we have the Kilchoman STR Cask Matured. This stands for the Single Malt Whisperer. It refers to the formula of shaving, toasting, and recharring the red wine hogsheads used to mature this single malt. 43 casks were filled in 2012, non-chill filtered, 50% ABV with a suggested retail price of $119.99. So, I can't say I have a lot of experience with Kilchoman, but those all sound really nice. They're really good proof points. You know, pretty good age on them. Not a bad price point. So, let's see. A lot of people love the Kilchoman, they're saying. Great Pete. Let's see. So, here we go. Let's go to the next one, which is Whistle Pig. The Whistle Pig is the next release here. This is the new farm stock rye. This is one the ones I've tasted, I'm not a huge fan of. This is the third release of Whistle Pig farm stock rye. It calls its triple terroir whiskey. Which just means the terroir is kind of the territory that it comes from and all the things that go into the flavor and the grains. Bruichladdich actually kind of markets that way as well. This is a blend of straight rye from Canada, 2 from Canada and 1 from the brand's own Vermont distilled rye. The Vermont distilled rye actually makes up a majority of the blend. From the state-grown rye that's first brought to proof with the state's own water and then aged in Vermont white oak barrels. This is this third bottling is also the final release of the Farm Stock Rye Trilogy. It's bottled at 43% ABV with an MSRP of $72.99. I don't know if anyone's had that stuff before. I've never been a huge fan of the Farm Stock stuff. I prefer their 10-year and their 12-year over that one, but it is a cheaper version. All right, the good stuff, guys. King of Kentucky. King of Kentucky is back. This is the 2019 release. This is a 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon. First introduced in 1881. Brown-Forman acquired the brand in 1936. Retired in 1968. This came back last year. But once again, this was selected by master distiller Chris Morris. Aged for 15 years. Bottled in single-barrel cask-strength releases. So expect the proof to range from 125 to 133. Furthermore, the details regarding proof, age, warehouse location, lot number will be handwritten on each bottle. Availability is limited to Kentucky with only around 2,000 bottles with an MSRP of $250. So, yeah, it's pricey. It's limited. It's kind of hard to get. But, you know, I had to pour this and I wasn't super impressed with it last year's. Maybe this year's a little bit better. We'll see. This is one we've talked about, I think a couple weeks ago, which is the 1792 12-year. Latest offering from Barton, also known as Sazerac. The Kentucky straight bourbon is made using the same high rye mash bill as the brand's flagship no-age statement small batch bottling. This is 12 years old. This will be a limited edition, and it will include The other in the portfolio, as far as bottled and bond, full proof, high rye, sweet wheat. The first batch of 1792, aged 12 years, is set to launch in July, so this month. And the best part, an MSRP of only $50. So really cool. I really like the price point on that one. For those of you that like Glen Levitt Enigma, crafted by master distiller Alan Winchester. This is another in the brand's line of no-age statement releases following the Alpha, the Cipher, and the Code. They were released with no bottle information, 48% ABV. The brand encourages drinkers to solve the puzzle and share their tasting notes on social media and the distillery's own website. If you're interested in unlocking the tasting notes, you could head over to the brand's website. Once there, you'll be asked to solve a few crossword puzzles to unlock the tasting descriptors. The Glen Levitt Code was in late 2018. So this one, they don't have a price yet on this one, but yeah, if you guys were interested in the Cipher, the Code, and a couple of those other bottles where they kind of make you look at, kind of get your own tasting notes and figure it out. I think it's a cool concept. I know some people really liked it. And this story just came out today, guys. I don't know if you have been keeping attention with this one, and it's the Colonel E.H. Taylor Amaranth Grain of the Gods. So this special release bourbon using the amaranth as the flavoring grain instead of rye. So this is 100 proof, bottled and bond, small batch bourbon. This was aged over a decade, so it's got some age to it. It's a special one-time only release. Other grains used in this recipe are corn, the Buffalo Trace mash bill number 1, and malted barley. So this is corn, the amaranth grain, and the malted barley. Amaranth was originally cultivated by the Aztecs and is called the grain of the gods. It's similar to wheat, but offers a complex taste with subtle flavors. Supposed to offer butterscotch, mint, pecan, dark berries. It's the latest in the collection of E.H. Taylor whiskeys, which includes some of the other ones, and obviously will be probably damn near impossible to get, as most Buffalo Trace special releases are. So that is the news, guys. I know it's a lot of stuff, but I missed a couple weeks, so... yeah, basically, Mike, another E.H. Taylor would be impossible to find. Let's see. E.H. Taylor is already 2,000K. E.H. Taylor is already secondary, I bet. Yeah, I would probably do that. I would probably guess that too, DH. Chad Holly says $1.99. Grain of the Gods in search of $1 million. Yes, thank you so much, Chad. I'm going to put that towards that bottle in the secondary. Thank you so much, buddy. Hey, Alan, the whiskey friend's in the house. How you doing, Alan? Thanks for coming in. ADHD fishing. Who am I, Nicolas Cage? I'm not cracking any codes or finding any treasures. That's very true, ADHD. He's like, I don't want to work when I drink my whiskey. Yeah, none of us will probably see that bottle. I don't know where it's going to go. I did mention on the live stream last night that when I was at Buffalo Trace yesterday, one of the guys told me that they actually do have you could ask behind the counter, and they do have the Warehouse Survivor bottle at the distillery, but they are asking for $7,000 for it at Buffalo Trace. So I thought that was freaking bananas. I'm like, $7,000. Wow. Okay. Hey, Sharper4221's here, new fan here, found your channel through the 12 hours of Boom. Oh, thanks for coming in, Sharper. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, that was a really fun, that was a great day, fun night. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so, Whiskey Shenanigans in the house. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for coming in. Rebecca Page said, wouldn't that be Tom Hanks? Oh, it's the battle of the movie puzzle solvers. Yeah, he did all the Da Vinci Code stuff. All right, guys. So let's get into some samples here. So what I have here is a box of samples that I've been getting and haven't been able to get to. So I figured, you know what? Let's get into it tonight. So I have this box. It's just filled with small bottles. So I'm just gonna kind of dig around and see what we pull out. I kind of just mixed them up. Let's see what this one is. So this is the Henry Mckenna 10-year bottled and bond. Oh, this is the same week. Oh, this is bottled the same week as the San Francisco Spirits winner. Oh, Wow. This one comes exclusively from Jim Shannon. Thank you, buddy. I gotta try this. Is this as a winning dram as it could be? Let's see here. Henry Mckenna. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Moose 76. What? No, Moo shirt. Moose. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get one, and when I'm on their channel, they're not gonna know when it's gonna happen. But I'm gonna wear it. All right, so let's get into the nose on this one. So this is the Chad Holly says smells like disappointment. Well, let's find out. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, typical Mckenna nose. This is probably one of the better Mckenna noses, I would say. This isn't too oaky. This is very butterscotchy. Some of the better ones kind of are like that. Definitely some corn sweetness to it. Not overly complex at all, so okay. There was some. There's a good amount of some. There's a nice like dark cherry note in that one. Actually, you don't get on a lot of McKennas. At least I don't personally. Tab A Key came in with a $1.99 super chat. He said, "Send me a couple coins." Tab A, leave a comment in the at the bottom of this video, or you can contact me on Instagram or Twitter. I have the contacts in the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I'll get you 2 coins, man. Absolutely. This is for you, buddy. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Yana Wishkin is in the house. How you doing, Yana? Thanks for coming in. Got 75 watching right now. This is awesome, guys. Let's see here. All right, let's go in for a taste of this stuff. The nose is really nice on this. I'll definitely this is a really nice bourbon nose, so. Really? I mean, it's good. It's a damn good Mckenna pour, but all right. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. It's good. It's a really good whiskey. It's a good bourbon. Solid, delicious. Definitely one of the better McKennas that I've had, but nothing that is like, holy crap, this is the best whiskey in the world. But I think you guys kind of knew that already. Hey, Peter White's in the house. How you doing, man? All right, that's good. It's a definitely a nice pour, but I don't know. I wouldn't think that definitely can't like beat out like even George T. Stagg or William Rowell. Like really, I don't know. Even some of the Russell's Reserve single barrels I've had have been way better than that. So. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Into the box of samples, and we're gonna pull out. This is Yamazaki 12. Oh, we're going Japanese whiskey right now. This I think is from Cap and Make It Happen. I think you sent me this. Robert K. Met said blasphemer. Yeah, sorry, man. Jason, we did have a pretty good Mckenna during the blind bottle challenge. Yeah, that was a really good Mckenna. I must say, that was really good. But it still didn't win number 1. Yeah, that is one of the more fruity McKennas that I've tasted. A lot of them are mostly very traditional butterscotch, oak, a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, some dark brown sugars. That one has a real nice fruit note to it, and maybe that's what put it over the edge. That's the only thing I could think of. It's got a more fruitier, more dark red fruit type flavor profile to it. That's it. Yeah, it's good. All right, so Cap and Make It Happen says yes, sir. He did send me the Yamazaki 12. So yeah, let's get into this one, guys. Some of you guys are doing in the chat here. Peter White says all Russell's Reserve single barrels are better than Mckenna. You know, I can't say I've had, any real bad ones, so I would maybe agree with that statement. But Henry Mckenna is moving to a small batch, supposedly, eventually. They want to make it more consistent, and they're going to be small batching it rather than doing single barrel versions. So that would be really interesting. I'm not sure when that's happening, but we'll see. Oh my God, the nose on this is amazing. This is pure like brown butter in a glass. Wow. A lot of citrus. There's a good amount of lemon here. This smells like my grandmother's lemon cookies. It's really good. God, so much. It's like maybe not the lemon, but it's like a shortbread cookie on the nose. It's so good. Dark meat chicken. Hope you don't pull out Jephthah. Nope. No. Not happening, dude. Hey, Whiskey Quest is in the house. Antonio. Guys, if you haven't checked out Antonio's channel, Whiskey Quest, you are missing out. That dude puts out some really amazing video. That dude should have like 10,000 subs. Go check out Whiskey Quest, man. Doing a great job. Chad Holly says super chat for Jephthah. I'll drink it if you super chat me, but otherwise, hell no. But I'll wait to the end because I don't want to ruin my palate for this. Maybe I'll finish the night with a nice shot of Jephthah. This is amazing on the nose. It's lemony. It's citrusy. It's got this beautiful like brown butter, like this butter popcorn type note to it. I'm sorry, not popcorn. It's not really a good descriptor of it. It doesn't really taste like it doesn't really smell like popcorn. It's just like a dark brown butter that I get. Man. Blind Whiskey Reviews, what is up? That is John. Yeah, John, exactly. Free exposure. Good job, buddy. This is for John. If you guys haven't checked out Blind Whiskey Reviews, and John also does a great job. It's, yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. The Bourbon Buddy says that Jephthah can S my D. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going in for a sip of this. This smells amazing. Oh, wow. That is one of the most lemony, buttery like whiskeys I've ever tasted. I know that's sort of a profile of Japanese whiskey, but I've never had one that intense in flavor like that. That's really good. Man. Now I'm getting some honey, some rich honey flavor in there. For a 12-year, it's got really good mouthfeel to it. It's not high proof. It's I don't know, cap and make it happen. Let me know what's the proof on this one. It's not really leaving a long finish, but the mouthfeel, the sweetness, all the different flavors in there. If you guys have never had a Japanese whiskey, I think it's really interesting, the flavor profile. It's definitely different from Scotch. I've never had a Scotch that was like this buttery and this, I don't know, this like citrusy and lemony, and there's a little bit of a fruit aspect to it there too. Like a bright fruit, like maybe like a, man, am I getting like a mango in there? That's crazy. Peter White says 43%. Bourbon Apprentice says, you all have talked so much shit about Jephthah that I need to find a sample. How can it be that bad? Bourbon Apprentice, man, I will send you one. I'll do anything to get rid of it. If you want to taste it, I'll send you one, man. Just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I'll get you one. Damn. That's good, man. I like it. Hey, Patrick Fulmer's in the house. How you doing, man? Whiskey Quest, yeah, that's a really good point too. It is very floral too on the nose. Yeah, it's got like this like fresh herb, like garden aspect to it, but it's like covered in sugar and butter and lemon, and man, that's good. Man, that is, what is that one? That is Yamazaki 12. Man, if I could ever find a bottle of that that's not like $1,000, maybe I'd probably pick one of those up. That's really nice. All right, let's go into the box of goodies again and see what we get. Mixing it around, mixing it around. What's this one? This is... Oh, so this is from the Bourbon Junkies. This is the Angel's Envy Sherry Cask. I have never had this. So, okay. Here he goes, guys. Angel's Envy Sherry Cask. Let's get into this one. I've been wanting to try this one for a while. All right. So this was a special release, Angel's Envy. It was $200 when it came out. And for me, I'm just not spending $200 on Angel's Envy. But a lot of people did really like this one. So I have a glass right here. Let's see here. Actually, yeah, whiskey friend Alan. If none of you guys have... actually, Alan's doing a really cool series right now where he's trying a bunch of different bourbons for the first time. I sent some samples out to him, so I hope those get to him soon. I can't wait for you to try those. But, you know, he does some really great reviews. Go check out the Whiskey Friend. Whiskey Quest says, I'll pay $130 at most. Oh, so you've had this Whiskey Friend. I'm sorry, Whiskey Quests. A lot of whiskey names, sorry. All right, so let's pour this one in. I'll get a little more. Get some on the nose here. Trevor Wilson said, oh, they sent me that one too. Let me pour with you. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, man. Trevor Wilson's going to have some. Diesel says, the sherry cask is very good. $200 was a ripoff. All right. So let's see. So Angel's Envy to me is always just ridiculously sweet on the nose. So let's see what we get. It is very sweet. You definitely get the sherry coming through. There's some kind of there's like a raisin, date, kind of a fruity note to it. You're still getting some of the bourbon influence though. You're still getting some caramels, vanillas, which is good. You don't want it overly sherried. You want it to be somewhat balanced. Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Jerry Kersey, thanks, man. How you doing? Man. It's got a nice nose. I gotta say, it's not. I thought it was gonna be overly sherried. So just based on Angel's Envy, their stuff being, I think their regular port smells like was it like circus peanuts? It's really super sweet. Their rye, their rum finished rye, smells like toasted marshmallows, which is crazy sweet. Even tastes like toasted marshmallows. Take care, John. Thanks for coming in, man. All right, yeah. I mean, it's a great nose. I actually really like the nose on this one. I'm surprised it's not sweeter than it actually is. So let's go for a taste, guys. Let's see what we get out of this one. Cheers. Okay. That was $200. Unless my palate is broken, that did nothing for me here. Let me go for another sip. Okay. Second sip was way better. Excuse me. All right, so that second sip, I definitely felt the proof. It's extremely fruit forward. I mean, literally got like a strawberry jam on the back end of this. Very jammy, very fruity. Obviously, that Oloroso sherry cask that they use to finish it. But I will say, I'm happy. It's not overdone. It's not too sherry forward. They didn't go overboard with it. It's got a nice balance. I'm going to go for another taste here. Yeah, second sip. It's still very fruity. But, you know, I'm proud of Angel's Envy a little bit because this, I can see why a lot of people would like this. It's very pleasing on the palate. There's not a super high proof to it. It's very, very fruity, but you taste all those really nice bourbon notes in there too. Caramel, vanillas. There's some, almost getting like a maple type aspect to it, but then just like that fruit jam kind of takes over. Really on the finish, you get it, but there's a slight peppery spice on the finish, not too much. Pretty good. Yo, let me see. We got Whiskey in the Six just came in. $6.99 super chat. Cheers, brother. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Rob had an epic live stream the other night, drinking like Highland Park 30. Just some crazy stuff, man. You and Jeremy and Jasper always bring the really good bottles, man. Thanks a lot for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually really, this is probably my favorite Angel's Envy that I've tried. It's really good. It's probably got the best balance out of all of them that I've tried. It's not too, it's not too over sherried. It's got good balance. Got a decent proof point to it. It's not killing you. It's sweet. It's got. Let me go for one more sip here. I'm going to kind of take you through it, how it's kind of reacting here. Yeah, this is all bourbon on the front of the palate. All bourbon. This is just vanilla, caramel, some really nice sweetness. You get a little bit of an oak in there too, a little bit of oak influence. And then all of a sudden that sherry characteristic just kind of takes over on the back. You start getting the strawberry. You start getting some, that like raisin character. Man, it's really nice. Not an overly long finish. Definitely probably my favorite Angel's Envy I've tried, but to me still not worth $200. But I understand it's a special release. They probably had to get some special casks. There's when you kind of grabbing different casks that are a little bit more specialty, there's a cost involved with that, so I get it. But if this was 100, 125 maybe, I would spend on it. I actually really, I think it's pretty decent. I was really surprised with that one. Good job, Angel's Envy. He didn't over-sweeten the hell out of it. Rebecca Page says, jump on those drums and fruit jam, Jason. Let's see. What are you guys sipping here? Jad Howe just poured a Balcones, Hechichetto, single malt, and port barrel. Oh, man, this stuff will make you a Texas whiskey believer. Chad Holly, I agree. That stuff is amazing. I love the Hechichettos. But my favorite still is that French oak. The FR oak, the French oak release that they did. That stuff is just, ridiculous. Speaking of French oak, I got to thank my buddies, the Oak and Smoke Whiskey Reviews. Last week we sipped some of this, and they were kind enough to find me a bottle. So this is the St. Cloud Kentucky Bourbon. I know D.H. Silv, Dustin in the chat, he just got one. I saw him at the Party Source yesterday, and he picked up a bottle of this, and he absolutely loves it. For a 3-year-old bourbon, it's aged in French oak. It's absolutely amazing. Limited release, so I'm loving that bottle. I can't wait. I'm going to show you guys another bottle I picked up yesterday. You might laugh at this one. I actually don't have this bottle, and the only reason why I picked it up is because somebody, and one of you guys might be in the chat, told me to do one of my double bass episodes with this one in it, and it is the Fighting Cock. Yeah, the Fighting Cock Kentucky Straight Bourbon, 103 proof. I'm gonna put this head to head with another. I forgot what the suggestion was, but I'm gonna be putting this head to head for a budget bourbon, a high proof budget bourbon battle. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Let me go back because I saw some people calling out, highlighting my name. Jason, when I'm in the mood for a light dessert, I go to it. Jerry Kersey. I would definitely. I would totally agree with that. D.H. Silv, sherry is the least sweet finishing they've done, so it makes sense. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree, Dustin, because it's not as sweet as most of the Angel's Envy stuff is, and that's why I like it. Jeffrey Wax says, that Angel's Envy took you on an interesting journey, a bit of a roller coaster. Yeah, I did not like it at first. The first sip was very, very muted, but it could have just been my palate after drinking the water, maybe. But the second sip was way better, and then the third sip started, it definitely did get better. Like I said, that's the best Angel's Envy I've had. I really like that one. I still wouldn't pay $200 for it, but it's damn good. Let's see here. Hey, Bourbon Junkie's in the house. What's up, boys? Thanks for coming in. We had a lot of fun last night on our the little quiz show we did. I know Sean was a little bit pissed off at me, but Robert K. Mess says it will be the D. Fighting Cock is just Heaven Hill, white label, 103 proof. Flavor profile is identical. All right, well, we'll find out. You guys ever see My Cousin Vinny? Identical. And I literally have a cousin Vinny, so it's always fun. 83 watching. Thanks Richie for keeping me up on that. Yana says Fighting Cock was designed to challenge Wild Turkey 101. Yeah, I think that's what the matchup was. So 101 versus Fighting Cock, man. Woo! Yep. Gotta love it, man. All right. Let's go in for one more sample, and then we're going to crack open the Bardstown Bourbon Company. So let's see what we got in here. This is the Oak and Eden Bourbon and Vine. Oh, okay. Oak and Eden Bourbon and Vine. So I believe this is another sample from Cap and Make It Happen. I think he sent me this one. Whiskey Crest, that's right, man. Happy belated birthday, bro. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I celebrated my birthday yesterday. I turned the ripe old age of 42 yesterday. So, yeah, it was a great birthday, man. Went through as I'm pouring this, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my experience yesterday. And what I did is I actually made a video for you guys tonight. I literally just put this together about an hour before the show. I didn't put any sound into it because I'm going to kind of narrate it as we watch it. Hopefully it broadcasts well for you guys. But it's kind of my experience of the Distiller yesterday and going on a barrel pick for Weller Full Proof. So just, amazing stuff. It was so good. So, thanks everybody for the birthday wishes. So, this Oak and Eden Bourbon and Vine. I don't think I know too much about this whiskey. See if I could find anything. All right, Oak and Eden Bourbon and Vine. So this one, I think I just saw Cabernet. So this one is Cabernet Steep Bourbon is Oak and Eden's first small batch expression. We start with bourbon whiskey, distilled from corn, rye, and barley. Age it for 2 years in New American Charred Oak. We then add a 5-inch long spiral cut piece of French oak that had rested in Cabernet Sauvignon for 4 weeks before allowing it to rest in our bottle. Oh, you said French oak, man. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't. This isn't a Texas. I mean, I guess it's a Texas. It smells like a Texas whiskey. Rebecca Page, have you tried the American Hero edition of Evan Williams? I have not. So, looking forward to, let's see. Yeah, this has a Texas whiskey nose. It's got that little bit of a funk to it, but it's very fruity, probably from that Cabernet. It's definitely got that spicy French oak character that I really love. Let's go in for a sip of this one. Oh. The nose is better than the palate on this one. What is that flavor there? That one has a really weird aftertaste. It's almost like it's extremely wood forward. I mean, you could taste the wood in there, the oak. I feel like I'm like, I feel like I'm chewing on a wood stave with this one. Yeah, this one tastes very medicinal. It's got this medicinal character to it that's just not very pleasing. It's really nice on the nose, but I'm not feeling that one. I had high hopes being French oak. But yeah, it's extremely medicinal. It's got a little hint of sweetness, but it's very artificial tasting. Almost, have you ever had like cherry Robitussin? That's what it reminds me of. Yeah. The spiral dropped in. I thought I find it drying. Makes a great Manhattan though. That's what Cap and Make It Happen said. It is drying. It's very medicinal. Seems like it's a little bit of a higher proof here. Yeah, not my favorite. but thanks for sending that one, man. All right. So before we crack open the Bardstown Discovery, the star of the show tonight, guys, I'm going to show you a video, and hopefully this, like I said, hopefully this broadcasts all right. I just put this together literally an hour before the show. So hopefully you can hear me voice over it. I'm going to talk, and while you're watching it, so I could kind of show you like what was actually going on at that time when I was there yesterday. It was a really cool experience. So let's start it right now. Here we go. So yeah, here's the, that's my little logo in the front. Okay, so if you guys have been to Buffalo Trace, here's some cool shots of the outside, the iconic water tower. This was during the tour, so we got to see all the cool barrels, all the nice stuff outside. If you guys haven't been there, that is the famous Blanton's, Colonel Blanton Bottling Hall. We went into there, so we'll go through that. So this picture, that white, that big scaffolding they're building is an extension on their bottling hall. They're expanding everywhere. This is basically the Pompeii, Bourbon Pompeii, that they hired a bunch of, they literally hired some anthropologists and some other guys, some historians to come in. I'll tell you about that bin that's there, that copper bin, in a little bit. That's building 2. So this is where they do some bottling. This is where I got to see some really cool stuff. So this is where they were bottling a Weller antique pick, which is I posted on my Instagram. So here's the Weller. They're putting some labels on. If you guys notice, they are putting corks on those bottles. This is how they fill them. They drop the barrel, goes into the hoses, and it fills the bottles just like that. They were putting corks in the bottles and then also doing gold foil tops, which I thought was really cool. And that's because of the foolproof coming out. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a little bit. Let's see. So these are the big Magnum Eagle Rares, and this is them filling them. I was like, holy crap. It was so cool. They had the big Eagle Rare bottles. I mean, they were filling a lot of them. So if you guys have ever seen those in the store, they're pretty awesome. So a lot of Eagle Rare. I have a couple notes about Eagle Rare too that I'll get into. And then after the Eagle Rare, we got to see the Blanton's Hall. So this was inside that little Blanton's room. It's amazing. All the Blantons are hand bottled and drawn and labeled all in that little room, which is amazing. Let's see here. So here's the bottling line. Here's where the bottle starts. Then we get the beautiful horse corks. They just do it randomly. There's no set kind of standard. Then the woman that's spinning the bottle there is putting the wax on, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. And then here is she's putting the labels on them. And then they had this really cool cabinet. Every single bottle of Blanton's that was ever released was in that cabinet. Some of their single barrel offerings as well. Then, of course, they have the Pappies up there, the whole line, including some of the Centennial Elmer T. Lee's, the Old William LaRue Weller bottle. And then, of course, the George T. Stagg, the Antique Collection on the other side. Really nice cabinet. Now, this is actually, we walked in. This is the George T. Stagg 2019 that they're dumping right now. So the whole room smelled of this beautiful bourbon juice. I mean, all those barrels were for George T. Stagg 2019. So I thought it was amazing. So here's our tasting room. We walk in. This is our 4 barrels to choose the Weller Foolproof. It was really cool. That was our tour guide there. I was kind of in love with her. She was really nice. So there's the Whiskey Thief pouring in those glasses. It was a lot of fun. And then it came down to barrel 1 and barrel 4. Those were the 2 that were left, and then the winner ended up being barrel number 4. So number 4 was our winner. That was our pick, and then at the end, we got to sign it, and you'll see the final signed barrel right there. So, and that was my day. That was a hell of a birthday. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. So a couple notes from that video. So one thing that was really cool was the pick, obviously. But when we did the tour and we got to see all the different bottles and hang out, and then they took us through the tour of Bourbon Pompeii. Now, one note I wanted to add was the copper bin that you saw in the bourbon. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but basically, once they excavated, the archaeologists came in. They excavated all of that Bourbon Pompeii stuff that they found all underneath. They decided to fill. They decided to find. They found old copper down there. So what they did is that the guys at Buffalo Trace found out the exact formula, the exact type of chemistry to make that exact copper from back in the day. And what they did was they made a full bin of it. And so what they did was they mashed some whiskey and they fermented it in those copper bins, in that one copper bin, and it's aging in the warehouse right now. They're looking to age it, I think she said, or about 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years, and see how it goes. Basically, they have other slots for more bins. If as they're tasting it, if the bourbon actually tastes amazing, then they're going to drop in more. Obviously, it's a hell of a lot of money to recreate this type of metal. So the fact that they just did one to see what happens to the bourbon, if it really turns out good, they're going to just make more. And this is probably going to be, if it ends up being good, it's going to be one of those amazing other special releases, like a Colonel Taylor Bourbon Pompeii type, release, or maybe it'll be its own brand. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but it was really interesting. Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed that video. I'm glad it played okay. And then when we walked into that warehouse, we saw we saw the George T. Stagg being dumped. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, can I just stick my mouth under there? So our tour guide, the one that I, was kind of, kind of eyeing the whole time. She was kind enough to tell us that the George T. Stagg 2019 is actually in the high 130s of proof point. So it's going to be a high proofer, that one. Not like 2018 where it was on the lower side. This one's going to be back in those 130, close to 140 ranges. She didn't know the exact proof, but that's what she said. Then we went to the tasting. Then we got to try some of that Weller Full Proof right out of the barrel. And holy crap, it was delicious. But we will say, Whiskey Friend said, great show, Jason. Looking forward to those samples, buddy. Oh, absolutely, Alan. Can't wait for you to get them, man. So I mean, it was unanimous. 1 and 4 really tasted differently. 2 and 3, I mean, they were good. They were, straight whiskey out of the barrel, but it just wasn't overly exciting. They kind of fell flat. Consistency with me is a big thing, and as you kept sipping on it, it just kind of lost something. But 1 had this amazing fruit flavor to it that really stood out. But 4 was like, if you've ever had like a salted caramel, it literally tasted like someone put caramel in that barrel. I'm sorry, somebody put salt in that barrel. We poured this stuff and we drank it, and it was, I mean, it came down to 1 and 4. Then we did a blind taste test and everybody had a vote. I think it was 7-3 in favor of 4. So, 4 won out pretty strong, and I cannot wait. That's going to be coming out in October or November, I think, where it's going to be bottled. And, I'm hoping to get as much as I can. And big announcement, just like my Bottled and Bond pick, I will be giving away a bottle of my Weller Full Proof pick. So I'm really excited, guys. So that was my birthday yesterday. It was a hell of a day. Take care, Whiskey Quests. Thanks a lot for coming in, Antonio. Hey, William Davilar's in the house. How you doing, man? Bourbon Apprentice, where are the bottles from the pick going? Okay, so the store is called Liquor Outlet. There's one in Simpsonville, Kentucky, the same store that I did the 1792 Bottled and Bond pick for. And there's also one in Louisville. So those 2 stores will have the pick. But I'm hoping to run down there when it comes out and grab hopefully a case. If I can get a case, maybe a case and a half or 2. It really depends on how much comes out of that barrel. There seemed like there was a good amount in there, but We'll see what the yield is. Hey, Vito Castrinks in the house. Buon compleanno, fratello. Sorry, I'm a bit belated. Cheers. Thanks so much, Vito. Thanks for coming in, buddy. That is for you. Thanks so much, man. Let's see. If you guys haven't checked out Vito Cast Strength, really cool channel. Him, Josh Galladay, a couple of other guys really do a great job. Go check them out. Vito Cast Strength. Let's see. Peter White says, I smell another trade coming. Depends on how many bottles I get, buddy. So, all right. Let's get into this Bardstown Discovery Series. Oh, there's the front, guys. So I'm going to put up the graphic here of exactly what's in it. Where is it? Here we go. Hold on. Let me... Yeah, that's the one. How come you're not showing up? All right, hold on, guys. Let me fix this so I could show you, because there is some cool info on this one here. It is... There it is. All right. Rebecca Page says, will the bottles have your name or some identifier on them? So I think they're planning on putting my name on it, which is kind of crazy. I think they're just going to call it like the Mash and Drum Pick, or I did it in conjunction with Jim Shannon from the Bourbon Road, which is a really good podcast. I'm not really sure what they're planning on. We are going to name it, but whether they put their name on, I don't know, but I think that was being talked about, so we'll see. Kind of makes me nervous. I'm like, oh, okay. But really exciting at the same time. All right, so let me go to this bottle here. So as you guys, you can see the graphic. So this is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series. Comes in at 60.605% ABV. It has an MSRP. I mean, this stuff's pricey. It's $130 retail. I can't get that. I can't get my nail under the foil there. There we go. It's just like the other offerings. It's non-chill filtered. It's cast strength. It's available in Kentucky, Indiana, California, Florida, and Tennessee right now. So it's pretty available, but not overly available, unfortunately. You guys can see the breakdown of juice that's in the bottle. So I threw that graphic up there, and I'm going to go through that in a second and tell you exactly what's in this stuff. Because this isn't the Fusion Series here. The Fusion Series incorporates some of the stuff that Bardstown Bourbon Company distills himself, and I was super impressed with this bottle. This is just sourced whiskeys from all over Kentucky. Now, you could kind of, if you're kind of a whiskey nerd like I am, you could kind of venture a guess where this stuff came from. Richie Z, what's the ABV on your Weller pick? I believe it's going to be 114. The price is MSRP for Weller. Now, I will say this, that they did start bottling some Weller full proofs. So they're probably going to start popping up in places. What the distribution is, I don't know. You guys can imagine with Buffalo Trace, it's hard to really figure it out. But they have started bottling them, and they've been doing some picks. Dark Meat Chicken says, too bad you can call it birthday bourbon. Yeah, I wish. DHL of Kentucky Roadshow. Yeah, exactly. Wow, looking forward, looking at what's in, like a good one. Oh, yeah, for this one, yep. Okay. Yeah, they have it broken down to the decimal digits for this, for the proof on this one. Let me get a fresh glass here. And let me go through exactly what's in this stuff. So... I feel like I wrote it somewhere on one of these. Yeah, here we go, guys. All right. So the 10 year. So there's the two on the bottom, guys, on the bottom of the breakdown here. Kentucky 10 years and a 5-year-old. 75%, 13%, 12%. That's Wild Turkey. That's the Wild Turkey mash bill, which I kind of figured when I was there, and me and Scott were there, and Dan, and we saw it said Wild Turkey in there. So you have a 10-year and a 5-year Wild Turkey in there. The 5%, which is a 13-year, that's Heaven Hill's mash bill. So I think they got some 13-year-old juice from Heaven Hill, and then they got the other one from Wild Turkey. And the 75%, the 11-year, 7-month-old bourbon that makes up most of this, I believe, is Barton. Barton's always known as having a high rye. I've seen on a couple websites that that's their mash bill. They don't disclose what their mash bill is, but I would venture a guess that that's Barton juice. So let's get a pour, guys. Let's see how good this stuff is. Oh, sorry. It's getting away from me. All right, it's back. This is a heavy ass cork. I gotta say, man, this got some weight to it. That could kill a man. All right, I should pour it first before I cork it. Here we go. It's got a beautiful color to it. This is like a deep chestnut. I mean, it's got some older whiskey to it. And let me get rid of this graphic. Main scene. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying here real quick. It's got turkey in it. It's definitely got some turkey in it. Donner Pat, I wonder if the 5% younger edition is going to brighten up the flavor. And I think that's the idea. So when you kind of read the breakdown of this, guys, the whole idea of this was mixing some of the older stuff and enhancing some of the flavors from the old whiskey with some younger whiskey and kind of playing that balance between old and young and trying to get kind of a full range of flavors. It's the... Steve Nolly, the master distiller there, has worked with, has been in the industry for so long. The guy knows what he's doing. So I was really impressed with the Discovery Series. Yeah, Donner, it's nice to see that it's not just a bunch of MGP. Yeah, and, you got to love that on the bottle. I mean, they break down everything that's in it, and, you can venture guess what those mash bills are. So they're not really hiding anything. This was more just an experiment of, what you can do with both young and older aged bourbons. And I think they do a great job. This is also, I will add, cask strength and non-chill filtered, the way that, we like our whiskey. So let's get into the nose here. Let's see what we get. Wow, that's really interesting. You could kind of smell the young notes on there. There's some definite corn sweetness in there, some sweet corn mash. But you definitely get some age in there. You're getting some really beautiful sweet oak characteristics. There's a little bit of a leathery aspect to it. Deep, rich, dark fruits, brown sugars. It's got kind of this creme brulee aspect to it as well. Vanilla. It smells like it's going to be like very creamy. Yeah, the brown sugar note is really coming through, and you could really smell the rye on this. I think that higher rye bourbon that makes up most of the blend is really shining through too. Oak and Smoke Whiskey Review says transparency is great on their whiskeys for sure. Yeah, you got to love that about them. Oh, man. It's got a great nose. It's very complex. It's fruity, but it's got some older characteristics to it as well. Man. That's really nice on the nose. All right, let's go in for a taste of this stuff. I can't wait to kind of see how this is going to react. All right, cheers, everybody. Woo! That stuff comes in hot. Man, the first sip was, wow. That first sip of that stuff just lit up my palate, man. That came in hot, and I'm still feeling it right now. Woo! Oh, lordy lord. Man. This is extremely rye forward already. A lot of rye spice to it, a ton of rye spice. Man, the proof point on this though, this is like, yeah, this drink's hot. So let's go for another sip and see if that kind of tames down a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Wow. Yeah, this is... Man, I wonder if I would pick up on this if I didn't know what the blend was, because it starts out like a younger whiskey. It's extremely sweet on the front of the palate. You get some of those fruit notes The mouthfeel on this, though, I got to say, is incredible. I mean, just like the Fusion series, it's got a great mouthfeel to it. It sticks. I mean, I've been kind of swirling it around on my palate and it just will not go away. That pepperiness is just sitting on the tip of my tongue and it will not go away. But all the caramels, vanillas, that like sweet corn, you definitely get on the front end. And then as it works its way back, I think that higher age starts kicking in. You get the rye spice just really takes over, really kind of coats your palate well. It just stays. It's really peppery. And then it finishes with like this dark fruit, leathery tobacco note on it. It's almost like you could taste each of the different whiskeys that are blended in here as you go through it. Let me go for one more sip here. I did just get Kentucky Hug Punched. Yeah, it's just really unique. It's it's almost like you're drinking two different whiskeys in this one. It's really crazy. You definitely get the younger whiskey notes in front, but it's finishing older. All the what's weird too is that 75% of this is an 11-year-old 7-month bourbon. So you would think like that older age would take over, and I think it just helps the complexity. But the younger whiskeys in there, I think, are balancing out. You're not getting so much leather. You're not getting so much oak. Or you're not getting so much tobacco. The sweet flavors in this, the younger whiskey, I think, really balance it out. I could definitely taste, I think, a little bit of the turkey in here because it's got a cinnamon red hot aspect to it on the finish, which is something I get in turkey a lot, and I really love it. I think just my palate's very sensitive to that. But the finish on it's really, really delicious. Man. Hey, Bourbon Satan's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Canadian Club Chris. Absolutely, man. Poor Chris, man. Had a rough night last night. Drinking all that Canadian Club. I will say one thing about this. And this kind of proves my theory about 1792 or Barton. If that 75% of it is Barton, which I would bet good money that that's Barton. It goes to what I always say about Barton. The 1792 full proofs, they drink hot. They do. They drink hot to me. And this drinks hot. I mean, it is really kind of lighting up the palate, lighting up the tongue. There's a rye spice to it. It takes a few sips, but once you get there and your palate kind of gets used to that fire, there are some really beautiful flavors in here. Dark fruits, brown sugars, leather, tobacco. Man, there's a really rich cherry note in there too now. Yeah. Each sip is getting fruitier and fruitier. That cherry cinnamon note, man, is now really coming through. Man, that's got to be the turkey. But then it finishes like a Barton, man. That stuff is coming in hot. There's only 5% of that 13-year Heaven Hill in there. And I think that's predominantly the oak and the leather note that I'm getting in here too. I feel like I'm getting the heat and the rye spice from the Barton. The leather, tobacco, oak note right on the finish I'm getting from the Heaven Hill. And that cinnamon cherry, that fruit flavor I'm getting from the wild turkey. You can really kind of taste all those experiences. And I think it'd be different for everyone depending on what your palate is sensitive to. But it's a really, really delicious bourbon. Based on mouthfeel, finish, the experience, how interesting it is. It's definitely good. Is it worth $130 though? I mean, that's tough. I mean, you are getting a 13 and 11-year bourbon in here. So if you think about that aspect of it, it's kind of on par with the market. It's very well done. It's very well blended. It is a bit steep. But, if you're a wild turkey, if you kind of like all those distilleries, want to kind of taste the different aspect of those distilleries in one sip, then, yeah, this is the way to go. Really good. Very impressed with this. Very good stuff. Bardstown Bourbon Company, man, knocking it out of the park. Rebecca Pate says, actually, I found I enjoy Barton and Coke more than Jack Daniels. Hey, whatever you like. Bourbon Saint said, Canadian Club is my least favorite whiskey I've had. I can't wait to send the gang some bad samples to drink when they answer every one of my questions wrong. When we tasted this at the distillery, I remember picking up leather for sure. Yeah, Dusty Dan. Yeah, there's a good amount of leather in there. I'm just guessing that's from the Heaven Hill, that older Heaven Hill stuff. Canadian Club, 25% rye and 75% neutral grain. Yeah. Chad Howley says 130 for that or 200 for sherry finished AE. Bourbon prices are getting wild. Yeah, Chad. I mean, I can't disagree with you, but we only have ourselves to blame because of the way the bourbon market is. I mean, that's why Heaven Hill went away, the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. I mean, in today's market, you can't keep selling a 6-year-old bottled and bond whiskey for $12, $13, $14. You're just losing money. From a business standpoint, it makes sense, but at the same time, you know, we're the ones running out, waiting online and buying this stuff. But for, you know, I would be much happier paying the $130 for this than that $200 Angel's Envy. Even though that was my most favorite Angel's Envy I've ever had, it still is not kind of breach the $200 mark. This for $130 with all the ages you're getting in here, you know, I think it's kind of on par with the market a little bit, especially when you see some 10, 12, some 14-year-olds coming out for, you know, $200, $250 in some aspects. It's crazy. The pricing is just nuts. There's no rhyme or reason. You know, I feel like you're just slapping prices on bottles and saying, oh, people will buy this, because they just might. The Barton 100 Bottle and Bond has cinnamon heavy notes. Yeah, Patrick, yeah, I would get that too. There is some cinnamon aspect to that as well, but the unique aspect I'm getting from the Barton, I think, is that rye spice. That rye spice is just really punching through on the back end of this. Now that it rests in my palate a little bit, let's go for one more sip. Ooh, I just got like a cherry licorice flavor on there now. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with the blending in here, this is one of those bourbons that for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to pick up something a little bit extra, something a little bit more muted. It's very complex with all those ages mixed together. It's really, really nice. That's getting better as I sip on it, man. The cinnamon cherry flavor is now mixing with like vanilla extract, oak. That's good. It's really good. I like that one a lot. I don't know if I like this one better or the Bardstown, the Fusion. The Fusion was a really good blend too. But this one's kind of on another level. This is a solid pour for $50. I would take the Fusion over a lot of bourbons that come out for $50. And this is just a flavor bomb. Absolutely stellar stuff from Bardstown Bourbon Company. I can't say enough what they're doing. This is delicious. So, yeah, if you guys are one of the lucky ones in the States, yeah, if you're up to spend $130, you can just pour a little bit of this stuff at a time and get a lot out of it. Dark Meat Chicken said, Jep the Creed should put out a $130 bottle. No, Dark Meat Chicken. Okay. Cherry licorice is a Willet note I always pick up. Yeah, Bourbon saying, yeah, I would imagine that too. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do tonight is maybe if you guys paid attention last night to the Bourbon Junkies to the Bourbon Junkies live stream that they did, we got some trivia questions about bourbon. So I'm gonna re-ask a couple of them in a different way, and the winners tonight will get a sample of the Bardstown Bourbon Company Fusion. I'm sorry, Discovery. And I'm hoping that two people win tonight that actually don't have that can't get this in their state, because I really think you'll enjoy it. Hey, the Bourbon Road's in the house. How you doing? Jim Shannon's in the house. Bourbon Road. I've talked about him before. Podcast. Go check him out. And Jim was on the barrel pick with me yesterday, so we had a good time. Trevor Wilson said Jephthah straight from the barrel. You guys really want me to sip that stuff again, don't you? Oh, you guys are terrible. All right. So let's give away some Discovery Series tonight, guys. 2 samples tonight. Bourbon Saint said I won't answer because I will never forget these questions now. All right, so I have 2 questions for you guys tonight. First one in the chat, we'll get a sample, and I'll get it out to you as soon as I can. Just a quick programming note. I'm going to be in Nashville next week for work, so I will not have a live stream next week. But kind of keep an eye out. I might do a quick live stream or 2 from Nashville. I'll be there the entire week, so hopefully I can. They have this really cool bar in there that has actually a really good bourbon selection. So I'm hoping they have something that's kind of rare and something new that I can maybe do a quick review live. So keep an eye out for that next week, guys. All right, so here's the question, guys. First one in my chat window wins a sample of the Bardstown Discovery. So let's go with all right, let's go with this one. So last night, I kind of freaked him out because I talked about the first ad in Kentucky for bourbon that was ever published. Who can name in the chat what city in Kentucky was the first ad ever printed for bourbon? Yeah, Donner Pass. I may go live from there if I have some time. It's one of the busiest weeks that I have for work. It's this big conference that we do, and a lot of my work is leading up to it. So I don't have a ton of time. I'm gonna try, buddy. Cheers, Ryan Richardson. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Still nobody has gotten it yet. Nope. ADHD Fishing nailed it. Yes. There you go, buddy. ADHD Fishing nails it. It is Paris, Kentucky, is where the first bourbon ad was ever published. So ADHD, I got you, buddy. ADHD, reach out to me on either Twitter or Instagram. My handles are down there on the bottom of the screen. Yeah, we'll connect, and I will get you a sample of the Discovery Series. Awesome, man. Congrats to ADHD Fishing, who always has the best comments of the night. Love it. Cheers, buddy. He said boom right there in the pooper. Oh, goodness. All right. One more question. Another person getting a sample. Here we go. By act of Congress, in what year was bourbon deemed America's native spirit? All right, we already have our one winner. ADHD Fishing's in the house. Who can name America's native spirit? What year was it named by Congress? Christine Deems comes in with it. Whoa. Christine, I didn't even see you in the chat. I am sorry. Out of nowhere, Christine Deems just pops in and is like, you know what? I'm going to win again. 1964. Wow. All right. Christine Deems, ADHD Fishing. Congrats to you guys. You guys will get a sample of Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll get these out to you as soon as I can, guys. Awesome stuff. Congrats to you guys. I love it. Before we sign off, I'm gonna put it out there. Any super chats that come in, I have the Jephthah right there. If you want me to finish the night with a swig of Jephthah, let me know. Bourbon saying, if that question is like what you are going to ask when you host, I'm effed. Hey, you are, buddy. Yeah, Christine Deems actually, she hasn't won in a while. She hasn't been able to get on, but I really thank her for coming in. Christine, you're an all-star. Thank you so much. She's at the vet today. I hope everything's okay, Christine. I have a soft spot for dogs and animals, so I hope your dog or your pet's okay. Yeah, Cap and Make It Happen usually wins too, and he was skunked tonight. So congrats, guys. All right, so let me kind of wrap things up here. Oh crap! Dusty Dan, Chad Holly, Jephthah. All right, well I did it to myself, so let me get the Jephthah. I never actually have it near me. I want that shit as far away from me as possible. All right, here it is. Jephthah Creed. We're going in. Gonna finish out the night with a shot of Jephthah. Thank you for the super chats, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And this is for Dan and let's see, Dan and Chad Holly. Thanks, boys. All right, here we go. A little bit of Jephthah to finish out the night. Oh, God. What did they do to it? What did they do? What's in the box? What's in the barrel? This stuff just never gets better. Freaking damn grandpa's old basement mothballs and dusty boots and cobwebs. Damn it. All right, guys. So to finish out tonight, before I throw up after having this, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming in tonight, hanging out with me. Had a good time. We went a little bit long tonight just because I'm not going to be live streaming next week. So I'm glad you guys hung in and had a good time with me tonight. Tried a lot of great whiskeys. I want to thank everyone who sent in a sample tonight that I got to try. Thank you so much for your generosity. Bourbon Chains at the Walk of Shame. ADHD. I am sitting at home packing up Beagle Rare to send out tomorrow. So happy you're a part of the affinity chain. Yeah, ADHD Fishing is working on an infinity bottle called Beagle Rare. He made a label. I mean, it's awesome. There's a label. It's so cool. I cannot wait. Thank you so much. All right, so here we go, guys. Thanks again for coming in. Like I said, if you guys want to get in on the rest, I still have some coins left. Leave a comment down. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Would love to kind of get these sold out because I want to get the next drum in creation, which will be the little tom here on top. So should be pretty cool. Here we go. Cheers. God. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. It's like drinking a basement. It's like drinking an old mothy basement in a glass. How does that happen? Oh, damn it. Oh, that's so bad. Rebecca Bates at like ringing out Gramps Depends. Oh, it's probably pretty close. Oh, it's terrible. All right, guys. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for a wonderful, great show tonight. We got a lot of news in. We got some great samples. Drank some great whiskey. Shared it with some great friends. Congrats to Christine and to ADHD Fishing again for coming through with the victories. I will get these samples out to you. And like I always say, I'm going to put the Jephthah Creed over here. Grab the Bardstown Discovery. It is not about the whiskeys, the people you share with. Cheers, everyone, and look out for me next week at some point in Nashville, hopefully. And cheers. Glad you were able to join me tonight. Take care, everybody. Thanks again for the support.